Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next monthly best practice webinar session. We will wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. People are coming on and joining.
All right.
Hello, Mark.
Hello. All right. Apologize. Here we go. So we're live.
We are live. I just informed that we are waiting for, let's say, maybe 1 more minute, right?
Perfect. All right. Looks like we have 33 on. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We're pretty excited to have you on today. We've heard your feedback and what you've been telling us about. Can we make these sessions more educational? Can you take topics that are important to us and work with us to keep us current on what's going on in the industry and keep educating us so we can take better advantage of your solutions. And so we heard you loud and clear. And so today I am real excited. We have Jan here who's going to talk to us about Oracle and Java and walk us through the latest updates on what's happening there, recommendations, what we're seeing in the industry. I had a chance to go through the presentation earlier, and it was really good. So I'm super excited. So I'm co-pilot on this one today. I'd like to introduce to you Jan, and then we'll take it from there. Jan?
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for kicking off and nice introduction here, right? Yeah, Java, I think we had a session last year. I think it was the May session. And we talked before the key question, right? Why should we do Java again? And you mentioned in your intro that, yeah, there are updates. And before we're talking about the updates, I think it's understanding the key challenges with Java, right? And in my customer communications, first of all, I might need to introduce myself. So I'm Director Product Management for Flexera, working in the item space, right? So I have many customer communications, and Java is really often a topic of interest or a topic of concern. And understanding the challenge is, I think, key to really understand then the solution approach. So Mark, the first thing I often hear is about the really concern of a bad surprise of the audit situation, right? So I think we all know about the big change Oracle did I think it was last January, when they changed the licensing for Java to the employee-wide model. And this was really concerning news on the market, right? So it was a lot of articles, a lot of, let's say, concerning articles, and they have all, let's say, a reason, because it's really something that a lack of visibility, not really knowing where Java is installed or what Java version is relevant for licensing, or then really a surprise of an audit or a surprise within an audit of unknown findings, something like that. It's really concerning because the new metric is risky to have all employees licensed for Java, let's say for maybe the one more license in a very bad sense. On the other hand, it's motivation to really do what everyone needs to do to really be compliant in the space. And I'm not the guy to tell the bad stories about, oh, think about an audit and what happened in case of. No, it's more, let's really think about what is needed. And the motivation behind from Oracle, it might be, okay, the management is okay, it's a simplification to some extent. We will go through all the details and may understand also that view. But let's say from a day-to-day business, it's, okay, I really need visibility and transparency. This is key. It's not only for Java, but it's, let's say, today we talk about Java. We need the visibility, transparency, my complete IT estate. I need to trust the data I see, right? And for Java, we have some specialized situation. I will cover this. Sure, it's cost avoidance in case of the next audit or the risk. But it's also to see then the consistent and accurate data, not only from installations, it's, let's say, also from licensing. And there are ways where customer can use the existing entitlements, the older model, the processor-based entitlements, and renew and negotiate that, right? It's also described in the Q&A section from Oracle Java. So it's not only to say about, okay, there is a risk, it's also to be best prepared for the next negotiation with the vendor. In this case, it's Oracle, right? And I think, sure, the nature is complex. Java is complex. We will also see why. But it's, let's say, understanding the game, understanding the complexity, and finding solutions to really help and deliver value. And it starts with visibility through the complete chain, right? That's my, let's say, thinking and maybe helping to understand the motivation behind. Okay, let's start. So we have the history of Java, right? I mentioned the January 23 change, and yeah, January 23, it seems far away. We had changes earlier to Java, right? It's not the only change. So we have the various changes there. We have the challenge on, okay, what of the Java versions are commercial, meaning needs a subscription, and maybe older one not? Is it so easy? Java can be embedded. This is a really challenging one for, let's say, especially on the server side, right? What if a third-party application, it could be Oracle application, IBM, others, and built on top of Java, and Java is in, right? The inventory will detect Java, but it's not the customer that needs to pay for the license. How to manage this in a SAM tool, right? So this is the Java embedded question. And sure, we will provide you hands-on answers on how we doing that in our two offerings here, the Flexera one item, the cloud solution, and for on-premises customer, the FlexUp Manager Suite. And this is talking about the complete chain, right? It starts with a specialized inventory. I will explain why it's important. The normalization, translating into what's commercially relevant, what's not, transparency, and sure, the answer for the Java embedded question, which is the exemption by file path, and then also a step-by-step approach on creating licenses. Again, some of the topics were covered in, let's say, the last year's session in May, but it's worth providing an update and going through the complete chain again. What I mentioned in many of my conversations customer really ask on Java, and they wouldn't call it concern, but they are aware of the need to really understand what a SEM tool can bring them, offer them for value, for automation, for simplification, especially in this area. Yeah, Mark, are you aware of the situation with Java and how customers are?
Yeah. Well, well, first of all, when we talked about doing this topic, a number of customers, obviously through a variety of channels, whether it's the community, whether it's open up service requests, tickets, Java has been a very interesting topic because the delineation between, what's free and what are they charging for, and the clarity that's needed. It's not very clear. So Oracle's probably not going to give you the clear definition, and they're relying on vendors like Flexera to help bring that clarity, both through our solutions as well as through discussions like this. So obviously very interesting topic. And then before I forget, for those that are participating, feel free to put questions in. We can see them live. So if you have questions, thoughts, maybe share a little of your experience in dealing with this. I think it's a very interesting topic, fits well with this audience. And I think hopefully we'll see some Q&A that lends itself in that manner. But yeah, I think you're off to a good start. I think the way you're describing it, the way we see it, how FlexNet Manager addresses it, yeah, this is good.
So I will also give examples, right? Because sure, I'm not a consultant. I'm not here to advise or so, but it's more. I can confirm that it's really a topic for most majority of our customer base to find good answers on Java, to mitigate the risk, to optimize the cost, for sure. That these are the drivers. And yeah, maybe first, I think it's more history here, but we discussed the topic here at the bottom, the generate change, right? Oracle has made Java an enterprise-wide subscription. So I think the situation for customers with existing contract and licenses before the date, right, is a complete other situation, because most of them are really preparing for negotiation, meaning renewing the existing processor base and making sure they are using or consuming less, right? So avoiding a shortfall on Java to avoid the conversation of, let's say, needing extra licenses. So it's more this complete risk avoidance strategy I've often heard, right? And this is for the server side. On the client side, I often heard, oh, it might be easier to replace a Oracle Java on the client side with an other distribution, OpenJDK, something like that. So it's depending on the company. But so I would divide this in more, it's for sure complexity. With higher complexity on the server side, we need more capabilities, and the client side might be easier to manage. Or so other things before, right? The other change, it's back in 2019, feels a long time ago, was that Oracle made the JDK JRE license able for all editions starting in 2019. So let's say one famous of, one is the Java 8, right? It's still there, was update. Not sure what the current update is, but there was one update where, let's say it was mandatory to have the subscriptions. The subscription was available before, and also customer decided to subscribe these in case of support, or if so-called commercial feature were enabled, right? It was not that it was completely free before, but it was then mandatory. So 2019, let's say the first change, we might all remember this. but the more relevant one is the January 23 one. And I forgot to mention maybe the customers that are in a situation, let's say, not having a contract, not having the Java licenses. So this is completely different because then sure only the new license model is available. Honestly, the customers I've talked to are more from the, let's say, mentioned in bold here, existing contracts, right? Java licenses, the old Java processor, Java desktop ones. And it's more about, okay, we are prepared for the next negotiation. Customers also came to say, oh, we are afraid because if we negotiate this renewal on processor or desktop, what is the situation? Are we the next good candidate for an audit, right? So these are all thoughts. It's not my thoughts. It's what I've heard, what I can share here. And again, also in this case, the better you know the data and you can trust the data, right? The better you can decide to what is the best opportunity, right? Is it, or what is the best decision? I think it's, yeah, that's the nature of things. And this is where we start to really think through, okay, what is needed for a SAM tool to help you with these questions? So I think we can summarize before, and we will cover this also why it's important. So we have our Flexera solutions are verified, and I will give you a sense why it's important. In a nutshell, verified means we're verified only in the data collection, right? And it's something like with the data collected, we collect the data Oracle is interested in, right? So you see the data in the tool that Oracle is interested in. And you can build on top of the data your visibility, your decisions, your license position. The second one is the key challenge on what is a license-able or non-license-able version of Java? Meaning is it a, let's say, mandatory commercial one? Is it the free, right? So this is another challenge. We have then two key artifacts, two reports mentioned here, providing the transparency. One is the Oracle Java worksheet. I will cover this, the application transparency report. And we have also capability to manage embedded instances, meaning Oracle Java is embedded in another third-party application. I as a customer want to manage my Java instances to really get an absolute accurate view on how many licenses are needed. So this makes a difference, right? And for sure, we can compute the consumption. For clients, the old model, it's still relevant because if you renew, right, for servers on the old model with the virtualization on cloud instances. And again, here, the two thoughts. Again, our key, vast majority of customers with existing contracts and entitlements for Oracle Java, it's often okay, let's prepare for the negotiation. I see a lot of questions coming in. Is there anything?
Yeah, so I was reading through and we asked and they responded. So this is phenomenal. So there's a couple of them asking for presentation afterwards. And yes, I believe we share that as part of the post so that they have access to the links. And it looks like you hit some good points here. I'll read this one. How does NUP license reporting work in Flexera for Java? If we assign an NUP metric to a Java license, will it report one desktop as NUP automatically, or will we need to assign a device metric and put restrictions in place for the license to only consider desktops? Because NUP, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, it was not complete. Okay, I wait till.
Oh, no worries. Because NUP licensing is completely different for database. As an example, it is based on the minimum depending on processors. Great question. There's a lot there to unpack.
It's a complex question. So The named user plus licensing for Java is painful. Let's say to answer the question, yes, it's relatively easy. It would count one, let's say, desktop as one node. Is that realistic? That was one of the challenging areas, also the risky areas in an, let's say, audit or negotiation with contract, right? It's a very simplified approach to count one desktop as a node, because what if you have, let's say, more users using the desktop and so on and so on and so on, right? So it's the way we're implementing the Java node licensing for the desktops, and this is key, right? It's not counting for even Java is installed in a server operating system. It's for the client operating systems. That's the simplification there, but honestly, that was one motivation that Oracle simplifies the way, because it was really nearly impossible to, maybe not impossible, but really hard to find the accurate or the right number for the Java nubs, right? Because of the definition of, yeah.
Great. And it looks like we had a couple other not as complex questions. So you can take a breather there. When you say full employee to be licensed, does that mean all staffing must be licensed?
Sadly, yes. And the definition is even worse, because it's also a part-time contract, needs a full license. So it's a definition. I do not have the link to the latest one, but if you read through the definition, it's let's say, easy to understand from, it's not too complex, but if you really digest this, it means if you have part-time contracts, I think also external, so it's really, everyone needs a full license. And this, let's say if a company on enterprise really uses Java heavily, right? Heavily using Java, it's clear a simplification, because you don't need to measure everything and do a complicated node licensing, and for servers, all this stuff with virtualization and so on and so on and so on. You can have, or you now have, a simplified model. The reality is that Java is only one, let's say, software, and what if a customer is only using Java on very few machines? Then it seems to be too expensive or not reasonable to license. And that is everything I've heard, right? So it's to license Java for every employee, right? Or for every. So and that is the often the starting point where customers start to, okay, let's really track and make sure we have Java installed where we need Java, because of legacy applications, because of applications, because of what the reason is. Let's really make sure we have this and replace or mitigate the risk with replacing wherever possible. That's often, I've heard this often as a strategy for our customers, reasonable strategy, right? Yeah, that's it.
Cool. No, great responses. Keep the questions coming. We got 9. Let's see if we can get to 10. I feel like an auctioneer here. Aren't embedded discovery only visible if you have SVM licensed? That I'm not sure about.
No, I think it's, so SVM is not needed here for this discussion. We're really talking about the Flexera Manager Suite or item.
Got it. You mentioned Java Worksheet. Is this
Yeah.
available in FNOS on-prem?
Yeah.
How do I
Yeah,
obtain access?
Both. We will cover this. Okay. Let us maybe quickly cover some more slides to complete the picture. So,
sounds good.
Why is Java verification needed? I think I high level answered that. So it's because it's really collecting the pieces that Oracle is defined and it's looking for in case of negotiation, right? So the interesting insight is it's only file evidence. It's only file evidence, meaning the EXE, the Java EXE on the Windows side and the Java executables on the Linux Unix side. It's only file evidence. right? That is a key thing to understand. And in addition to the file evidence, it's additional field like running processes with Java, right? Or let's say to identify commercial features. So this is the verification process. The interesting thing is it's full transparency. It's the data is within the class evidence file, right? This is the, let's say, downloadable zip archive file. And we have the Java worksheet report, which is showing the data in the tool, right? So this is the full transparency on what's collected. We will cover here, because there are scenarios, what if you do not have the file evidence, right? But okay, we will cover this. The other thing on this slide is that it can be enabled. The data collection can be enabled, disabled. So this is here on the, let's see, I think I have a fancy pen here, right? So this is, not nice, but here is, let's say, enable, disable the collection of Java. It's that second point here. And the other one is you can decide to collect it in the audit evidence report, right? So this is here. And the third one is here, you can download the file. But again, it's also available in the report, so you don't need to export to see the data. You can easily access the report, okay? Why it's important? Again, it's exactly the data that Oracle is looking for. I had customers coming to me to say, oh, how can we trust the data? And this is the answer, right? Because we are verified. Oracle accepts the data from our tool as a verified data for, let's say, measuring in case of a contact with a glass tip. That's let's say, a relevant advantage from a verified tool. Let's say it's one step, but we need more to really manage the Java situation. Okay, next is about the commercial, restricted commercial, or the public available Java versions. We will not go through everything here. I think it's what is interesting here that I mentioned the Java 8. So we see here the Java 8, right? And it was in Java 8. We have here the license change 2019, right? So we talked about that mandatory after update 11 to 11, right? Everything was commercial. Before it was public, if you decided to not subscribe for support or commercial features in use. But for some builds, right, and this is relevant. If you received a special build due to a contract with Oracle and so on, it's here build number 30. It's again commercial, and we see similar patterns in the other Java versions, right? So it's let's say, tracking, normalizing, and tracking and categorizing the Java evidence is key to identify the relevant one for licensing. This is, security, right? Is it good to run a really old Java version, or is it better to update? And you're asked to update because you have an outdated version installed. So with the knowledge here, running an old Java 8 version before 2.11, updating to something means that, wow, it now become a commercial version, right? And this is also for other things. So I think it's this thing, are you really willing to accept security risk with running very old Java version? So there is a need to update. Or there is an ask to update from, let's say, automation here, also for Java installs on clients, right? Which will, by the way, also risk, if you're not having these entitlements, will bring you in a challenging negotiation situation, right, with Oracle. So again, this is more, I think we all know, but it's keeping in mind that this is happening is understanding the risk or the problem. Okay, so and this is now the part where I will give an update of also what's new, what's recently introduced. So this slide here shows the situation. We decided back in, I think it was last April or so, to only count file evidence for our Java platform. And here in FNMS, I can give you the highlights. So this is here our Java, in this case, it's Java 8. Let me use my pen again. So here's Java 8. This is the application. And we're seeing here the file evidence, right? And here are the patterns. And it's only an example, right? So you see all the versions, 8, update 251, and so on, and so on, and so on. So that is all coming from our ARL, Application Recognition Library. So this is the Java Platform 8 standard. It's a commercial one. We have also the Java 8, let's say, prior the change, another application. So it's all in, right? You can filter on the commercial ones. But what I wanted to highlight here is this change back in April. Oh, it was April. It is on the slide. It was April 23. So here's also a link to the community post where we explained why we changed to only using file evidence. The problem was that we introduced a problem for our customers with this change. I will explain why this change was key and also a good one, but because of complexity of the situation, we introduced troubles, introduced a challenge for customers that are not working with the file evidence. And let's say file evidence, we have third-party inventory solution that are not, let's say, providing the file evidence. And file evidence is really a huge amount of data, right? So we have customers that are really careful in processing all file evidence. So it's again, what if you do not have the file evidence in the system? And we changed in a way that the installer evidence were managed in a so-called Java unmanaged application. So everything from installer evidence were rolled up in one application. And this was really a problem. And customers and partners reach out and say, hey, it's no way. We need back the installer. Okay, this is the update back in April 23. So yeah, why we change again, and I will explain the change, right? So we keep the file evidence as it is, so no change there. But the problem was there is no visibility into the installations of Oracle Java. If you do not have file evidence, only using with installer evidence, there is no visibility. We understand that visibility is one of the key things with Java, for sure, right? Due to the requirements I covered, right, for the Oracle Glass verification, it's a full Java inventory, and it's only based on only file evidence. So the installer evidence will not satisfy or help with the data collection here, but it is providing key insights. Because let's say for Windows machines, the installer evidence, and installer evidence, by the way, is edge remove programs, for example, right? This is the translating it to Windows name. Edge remove programs on Windows is providing good enough insight to see, oh, there isn't Java installed, and I also know the version, right? So for Windows, it's not the challenge. It's more really challenge on the Linux Unix to identify the right version to use. So the question was how we introduce, again, back visibility for Java that is installed, or sorry, not installed, through the installer evidence, through edge remove program. And what we made is we introduced so-called, let's say, the same application, Java 8, from installer evidence. Let me show that. So it's another application now in the URL available. You can see it's Java 8 standard installer evidence. So we have the Java Platform 8, which is file evidence, right? We changed back in 23. It's still there, no change there. But we introduced back a way to have all the install evidence add remove programs to translate in a separate application. And here's also the community post. So it was going public, I think, end of February. So it's a recent change. I had partners talking to me that it's really key because customers starting with inventory the system and let's say for the strategy to identify Java installs on Windows clients, the installer evidence might be enough to get the insight, the visibility to see, oh, here I have clients outside where Java is installed. Let's make sure we remove or replace with OpenJDK or whatever the strategy is. Or let's make sure we deploy an agent if Java is, if there's agreement that Java can be installed there, let's make sure we install an agent or in a third party, an agent that collects the relevant data for our glass evidence file, right? So it's depending on the strategy, but it's enough for the first stage. And especially with showing back the translation into what's relevant for, let's say, commercial license, right? It's not only, oh, each Java install count, right? It's depending on the version to see, okay, is it really commercial? And so this is, all this is coming from ARL. And now we are back to provide these insights, right? It's split it in two applications. And this is key, and I will explain why on following slides, but I pause for a moment to see if there are, let's say, relevant questions here, or if you have any thoughts, Mark.
Yeah. So this is, first of all, thank you for all the questions. Please keep them coming. I think we're up to 12. Let's see if we can get to 15. Lots of really good engagement. I think you're on slide 12. There was a question on slide 6, needing the URL. And then Catherine had asked about if SVM not required, please share where to get the embedded Java info. We only see standalone Java data today. Didn't know if that's something you could cover or if that's an offline topic.
I think it's an offline topic, and it sounds interesting. Honestly, and frankly, I don't know exactly what our cool SVM capability can bring here for, let's say, insights or capability. Seems to be I need to do my homework here, right? So I don't know. Let's take it offline. I will also contact my product manager peer here to understand this. But okay. How to get the information? Yes, the Java embedded I have slides there to cover that.
Okay. There was a follow-up question on does Oracle Java Worksheet create the same output like Java LMS tool?
Yeah, the Oracle Java Worksheet, the report, is exactly showing the same data, plus some more columns helping. Let's say plus additional columns, but it's showing exactly the same data. That is what I mentioned. You do not need to download the glass evidence file, load the Java CSV file in Excel and have a look. No, it's the report. You can access the report. That is showing the data.
Got it. A couple of other quick questions. Is there a current roadmap to go from Java verified to Java certified?
Fantastic question. I love it. So let me route that back to Oracle. There is no way to be certified by Oracle, let's say from a vendor point of view. Oracle runs a verification process. It's a 3PTV verification process. And this process is only, again, but it's key to understand what data is needed. I give you a good example. Another verification is a middleware verification. Middleware, and one prominent product is WebLogic, right? Without the verification program, or before, no, let's say without the verification process, we wouldn't know how to, or what data point Oracle is looking for exactly for WebLogic. With the insights of what data points are relevant, we were able to improve the recognition, the capabilities to recognize WebLogic additions, right? So it's providing key insights, but there is, to the question again, there is no certification program available. If we are definitely interested, but it's not, right? So it's, let's say, realistic, but sure, we all have vision and dreams, but for now, we only have the verification.
Great. Keep the questions coming. Trying to get to 15 here. So if you've got some thoughts, questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. One last question, and then we'll get you right back to the slides. Oracle has said that they are now offering, it looks like GRAAVM, GravVM, JDK for free. Is this a possible solution for mitigating risk with the traditional Java?
I can't answer this question, honestly. Might yes, might not. Yeah, good
Take
question.
that one offline?
Yep.
Okay, we'll research that and then provide that offline. All right, back to,
I think they're great. Oracle, also for Java, service company outside to really have great insights. So we are not providing these kind of, let's say, consultancy services here, right? But it's definitely worth to, because again, it might be every customer affected, right? Or concerned about, and it's one of their topics. There is a lot of interest of collaborating within user groups, something like that. So we have also, let's say, our customer advisory board, and it's interesting. It's often interesting to really see similar patterns, similar decisions, similar priorities in the company. So I'm pretty sure if this is a possible mitigation, you will hear that in the market clear and loud, because it's a topic, a key topic, right? Still in the market. Okay, let's go. So this is more a detailed slide. We don't cover here too many details, but sure, you need, it's not only the FNMS version, it's also the agent version required, because the Java verification was introduced with our 22.2 release, right? So hopefully you have the agent deployed. If not, so this is a requirement here, the agent version. And this agent version then collects also additional data points for commercial relevant features in Java. So 3 ones here, it's AMC, mission control, or the unlock commercial feature capability. So this is relevant for older versions, let's say older public, or the no mandatory commercial ones, where you then need subscriptions, commercial feature, right? And this is part of the verification. Here's the version, and the other thing is back in 21, and this is maybe also interesting, we identified how important the version and all this stuff is, especially on Linux, Unix. So we introduced this capability 1.5 years before, right? So it was 21R1. And this is, again, providing the insights in Linux, Unix for what's needed for Java, right? So this is only giving the sense that we are not starting with this when Oracle asked us to do that. We did it before. It's only to give here a sense of we understand the relevance, and do whatever is needed to help here, right? Yeah, Oracle is only working with the file evidence. Here's maybe if let's say you're not interested to include all file evidence, here's a way to may filter only include the relevant files here, right? But again, it's something, it's on the slide, but we're not going deeper for now. Okay, the next thing is maybe understanding here scenario. And this is real world scenario, right? We have the inventory agent installed on servers. That's great. We need it because of the specialized inventory capability for Oracle, for IBM, for others, for fast inventory for the same tool. But for clients, we have other third-party inventory, and the agent is not available for clients. So we understand we need the visibility, right? So how to do that? For sure, Java servers. So we have the verified data gathering through the inventory agent. That's fine. We have it, okay? We see it in the glass, in the Java worksheet. We can work. We have the file evidence, right? We use the Oracle Java Platform file evidence. It's in brackets here, but the Oracle Java Platform built on the file evidence. And if we have licenses or entitlements, it's still the Oracle processor-based model. So we use here the Oracle Java Platform applications with our Oracle processor license. All fine. We get the data in. And additionally, we can manage embedded Java. I covered this in an extra slide. I think it's 2 slides from now. On the clients, we have only limited visibility because of no file evidence, right? Limited visibility. We only use installer evidence. But we can now use the visibility from our new Oracle Java Platform application for installer evidence.
All right. So while Jan's probably coming back here, if we have more questions, please, as looks like we have a few minutes left.
I'm back. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
You're back. Welcome back. I was just schlepping for more questions. There you go.
That's fine. Okay, so we have the installer evidence application, right? So we now have visibility, and this is often then used to let's say track, identify where we have an installation, maybe again depending on strategy, replacing, removing, replacing with OpenJDK, whatever the strategy is, right? So this scenario is now possible with the change. Here's the Oracle Java worksheet, right? Same columns available. It reflects what the glass evidence, what's in the glass evidence file. I think this was one of the questions. The coming from other product field is the embedded Java. So it's listed here, coming from other product, and we have the exclusion by file path. So I will cover this in a moment, but it's used here, right? Other fields, and that is also a relatively challenge one. If it's really an audit situation or so, there are fields that needs to filled in. It's all described in documentation manually, but this field is processed by our capability. And one key topic here, the 3 topics, the AMC agent, the mission control, let's say all the things that make an old Java install license able, right? The commercial features. This report is providing the data. You can filter, you can see them. It's still the situation that these are not processed or considered during our recognition process, right? So this is key. This report is providing this insight. If you have old versions in the system, right, the old ones, not the new ones, then you should double check here if one of the columns is set to true, and then you know, okay, this needs a license. Embedded Java. We have also best practice webinar from Nicolas Rousseau, right? Providing here hands-on. So it's not automatically detected. Maybe the questions we had earlier ask about that capability. Again, we will double check, take it offline, we'll double check with the SVM side to understand what the capability is about. So we are talking about here a way that how to set and handle an embedded Java, and this is via file path exclusions. So we have the application recognition transparency report that provides the path. I think it's too small to read, but here is where's my pen? Here is the path. So file path, embedded path. There is a way in the license to really define the path patterns, right, for exclusion, and then we have a automation to exclude these ones from license consumption. Meaning, if all Java evidence on one system is exempted by file paths, there's WebLogic, there's an IBM product, and no additional Java install on the system, then this device is, let's say, ignored or not considered during reconciliation, right? So this is the mechanism behind. There are typical patterns from Oracle products or IBM products or Symantec products, which you can use and implement. We are not delivering this as part of our content, but yeah, it's available data, right? So starting again, I go back the slide. It's something, if you really want to manage Java on the server side, the agent is installed, provides the verified data, the file-based data with the path. Then you can start to say, okay, WebLogic paths can be excluded. The IBM whatever path can be excluded. And you can track and see this in the application transparency report. Yes, it's manual work, but it's a very granular work needed here to track this, because it's the same Oracle ask to see all installations, and including the paths, right, and the one which are part of another application. We implemented the embedded Java implementation before Oracle started the verification process. Again, it's not realized after as a result. It was more, we had this capability before, and it was, interestingly, a complete match, right? So this is something, if you have an Java installation base, and also applications where Java is embedded, you can manage, right? These servers then do not count as long as there's no other Java installed.
Ready for some questions as we
yeah,
approach the top
I think
of the hour?
We're only having a few more minutes. Let me.
Yeah. So there's cheers from Nicholas.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
his question, is there any plans to collect the Java dependencies, i.e. knowing which application is using Java? Cheers from France. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I know it's which applications are using Java. It's let's say more collecting the processes here. No current plans, meaning for the next 2 quarters here. depending on the need on Java, right? So it's definitely something we listen to our customers, really understand, okay, what is a key topic you need in addition, because we're not introducing things that are not relevant, right? That's I think key. So it's all about, let's understand what's really needed and understanding the business problem behind. So we open, but no current plans.
Great. Another question. Keep them coming. We're just shy of 20 questions. So if you have one in mind, please put them in there. This will set a record for us. During the Java journey, we switched different evidence types. What is the easiest way to reset FNMS on-prem to the Flexera standard settings?
Can you read again? So it's
Sure. And we might need to phone a consultant on this one too. During
maybe.
the Java journey, we switch
really
different evidence types. What is the easiest way to reset FNMS on-prem to the Flexera standard settings?
So let's say if the URL is updating, if it's not changing things within the URL, let's say, I would say we have still the applications, and it's maybe the how to set up for the license. That's my understanding, right? So the URL is updating and introducing the new installer evidence Java applications. We have the file evidence applications. It's only about what applications are linked within the license, right? And this is one reason, right? Because then it's easy to say for a processor-based, you only want to work with the Java application, right? Only file evidence. And for the NUP, Java user-based license, you can decide and maybe only link the installer evidence. So the flexibility is there. Is that the default? The default is currently still only using file evidence. So with the change we introduced, we only, let me see if it's in here, we only updated the URL. We are not making any change to the Perl product use library for bundles for now, right? So this means if you want seeing the application, the new Java evidence install evidence application within the license, you must need manually add them. It's pretty easy. Switch to the application tab, add a Java from file evidence. For install evidence, and then you have it in the system. Hopefully this is answering your question. If not, reach out, right? So
Sure.
and we can take it offline.
All right, we got we achieved our goal here. We've got 20 questions. We've addressed 14 of them, so we got a few more here to run by you as we have the 2-minute mark, if you will. Nicholas,
I do have, let's say, maybe two slides we presented also in the May release last year. Let me quickly go through, right? Because I really want to show one slide at one, and we can stay for the other questions recorded, right? If you need to drop them. So this is a slide showing on what's needed, how to set up the license, and so again, it's in the May recording again, but we have the 2 license, right? Service, processor, desktop. We can use capabilities like the intelligence license restriction. We can use here the exemption by file path, right? So this is how we go through and really set up and come to a realistic number of processor license needed. If you have only, let's say, no contract signs, again, I haven't really customer that is in the situation, then we have every Java install will is a threshold to license Java for every employee, right? So it's easily set up, a license user, and where you see the result. Okay, this is explaining here the answer. So with all the changes, I think we understand now why where we have, let's say, the visibility transparency. We understand the importance of the verification, the RL work, right? How we can work with the artifacts, the two reports. So it's all about the risk, let's say, mitigation, maybe optimization, right? Cost optimization, but it's mostly the cost avoidance strategy. So this is, let's say, the Java topic. One slide at the end, and this is I'm really proud and excited to announce that Oracle decided to add another product to their verification list, and it's e-business suite, right? I'm proud and announce today that we are verified, right? So we will announce that very soon publicly with the next versions, but we will be able soon to also provide the data from eBusiness Suite. I think we can make a session in future on eBusiness Suite. It's a complete other topic, but it's only to, wanted to bring another great insight, a great highlight here to this webinar. Okay, back to the questions.
Yeah, and we achieved the 20 that we were aiming for.
Okay.
And yeah, thank you for those that have stayed to the top of the hour. We appreciate it. We appreciate your questions. It looks like Nicholas addressed the one of the earlier questions. There's no need to reset Flexera ITAM. You eventually need to update the licenses to be used the installer evidence application, but recommended approach is to use the file as it allows the exempts by path. Cool.
Thank you, Nicholas. Exactly.
Appreciate that. Cheers. And then Jeff had asked, is there an advantage of excluding paths versus adding Java as a supplemental product on the bundled product, WebLogic, PeopleSoft, etc.?
Yeah, it is. And it's a key one, right? The supplementary would exclude the application. So if you have Java installed in addition to the one where it's supplementary, right? The supplementary is not taking care of this. And this is a complexity, right? Every install counts. If you have the one installed or nested in another application plus Java installed on the system, it still needs a license. And that's the difference. That's why it was not enough to use the supplementary, right? So it's every install counts, and the transparency on file evidence, only this transparency gives trust in the data. And Oracle's logging for every install of Java. And if you have the situation that it's embedded in one application and it's still installed separately, then there's still a license needed because the server still counts for the let's say Java license questions.
All right, 2 questions left. I haven't seen the aggregated community contributions defining embedded paths yet. Did I miss it? It might have been covered after the question came through.
What is a diplomatic answer? I would say we can post a best practice webinar with great insights. So Nicholas went through and provided great insight how to use that. And yeah, let's say the embedded path was introduced, was it early 22? I need to, maybe I'm wrong, but it before we had the verification was 22R2. So it's 2 years ago, right? So it's maybe you missed it. I don't know. It's not a recent capability we introduced, but it's something, still relevant, right? If you really want to manage Java. Hopefully this was a, diplomatic answer.
Yep, I like it.
Okay.
Last question. What would be the reason to get an empty Oracle Java worksheet in a large inventory setup? Only installer evidence is enabled and hundreds of installations are seen in the installed application view.
Only installer evidence is enabled is the answer. The Java, thanks for this question. The Oracle Java worksheet is relying on file evidence. It's showing the data that is in the class evidence file. Oracle is only looking for file evidence. So it's not providing a holistic view in, let's say, all Java installs if you have a mix of file evidence plus installer evidence. In this case, my understanding is only installer evidence is enabled. So that would result in an empty Oracle Java worksheet, but you can still see this in, is it part in the application transparency report? And for sure, if you filter on Java application, you then see where the installs are. But that's the answer.
Awesome. Well, I think that concludes our questions. Awesome job today. Great participation. I think this was perfect for today's discussion. Jan, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's do this again. And then for all those that had stayed to the end, we appreciate all your participation as well as your support as we move forward. So until next time, thank you.
Thank you for time. Thank you, Mark.
All right.